Very good afternoon. And after tea, this is the third technical session. And in this session, I would request Professor Arun Kumar Chakraborty sir to chair the session, and co-chair will be Dr. N.S. Mandari, Deputy Librarian IIT Mandi, and the rapporteur is myself. So I request, sir, please come on to the dais. I request Mandira to felicitate Professor Arun Kumar Chakraborty with a flower bouquet, Uttoriya. And I request Professor P.S. Mukhopadhyay to hand over memento to Arun Kumar Chakraborty, sir. I request Boisakhi to felicitate Dr. N.S. Bhandari with a flower bouquet and memento Uttoriya. And I request Professor Arun Kumar Chakraborty to hand over memento to N.S. Bhandari. Yes, I request Boisakhi to hand over flower bouquet to S.K. Jalal. So now I hand over mic to Professor Arun Kumar Chakraborty to conduct the session.
Good afternoon. We all are here. I think it's a thin participants. So I think it is a tough time for the presenter. So they have to make a presentation like that so that the people who have not attended your presentation, they should feel, oh, we have missed a great opportunity. So you have to make a presentation like that. So their feeling should be like that. That's not our expectation. And I won't go much down this. So I'm really thankful to the organizer, especially this chairperson of the IIT and director IIT KGP, and then our beloved librarian, Dr. Sutradhar. He is always a good organizer, good humor and good human being to tell the people to make everyone and together the really things. And then our Shamir Jalal and his team, really an active team entire. I don't know, Samrat and everyone is really a very, very active team of this. You can understand that they have making this program comfortable, enjoyable, knowledgeable, but what not. That means so both are there. It's a comfort, it should be a comfortable, it should be knowledgeable, it should be and on time. So the many things they are doing. So we also should support for that. Yes, he is trying to do, we also trying to stick to the time. So there are 11 papers. I heard that one person is not there. So 10. So I think 7 to 8 minutes. And then I have a question, one or two questions. So I'll ask first papers. First paper, Kuljit ji Kalon and Miss Nita D. Malik. Is there? Yeah, please. Our paper is NDLI Awareness Gateway to Access Digital Resources for Management Students. Special reference to GNMS Management Institute, Mumbai. Please, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ms. Neeta Malik, and along with my ma'am, Dr. Kuljit Kalon, we are presenting our research on NDLI Awareness Session Gateway to Access Digital Resources for Management Students, special reference for GNM Management Institute, Mumbai. This is the flow of presentation. The focus of our research is to educate our users to NDLI, create awareness of the resources available in this portal. Our research is on the NDLI activities events conducted at GNMS NDLI Club. As the fifth law of library science, NDLI has been upgrading with the new development of digital libraries and resources day by day. We at GNMS are trying our level best and better able to control the ever-expanding information explosion and make it accessible to the resources. The keywords: add value using NDLI, digital library, National Digital Library of India, the literature review, research methodology. Descriptive survey methodology was adopted for this research. Questionnaire, that is a Google form, was administered for management students. Further, the data was collected and analyzed and findings drawn. Our objective of the study: to study the purpose and utilization of NDLI resources by the library users, importance of NDLI for the library users, knowledge gained by the users attending the library activities, awareness of the GNMS library users of NDLI. The data was collected and was based on the non-probability convenience sampling and restricted to the Mumbai region only. Our scope was to understand the awareness of management students regarding NDLI. It was a project-based learning conducted in GNMS. These are the data analysis of our intervention. 62 students responded to our questionnaire. Most of the male respondents were 49.7%, and the age group was between 20 to 25, which is 80.6%. Out of our 3 courses, MMS students participate more, 71.4%. These are some other information of the questionnaire. We had asked about the awareness of the National Digital Library of India, and 87.3% responded that they were aware of the NDLI and the club in our institute. 82.5% agreed about the training process was according to the information, and they have gained information about it. the registration process, 81% of our students have already registered in the clubs. This is the process of registration. They found it very easy. And 28.6% respondents completed the process. 41.3% were satisfied with the trainer during the training sessions. These are the findings from the students' takeaway from NDLI. Create reading-friendly environment, spreading awareness about such resources. Start reading with your own interest topics. NDLI is a self-learning experience to gain latest and practical knowledge. It is brain sharpening. Create a reading space. Reading helps in communication skills and fluency of English as well. It is very good actually that we have an access to NDLI club for reading because our institute has been awarded for the same. Reading daily and having a dedicated time and place to read. Carrying a book to read whenever you travel, like I do. Some conclusions. The study concludes that introducing NDLI is a crucial initiative to make digital education facilities available to all under one roof, so that the library users can find the required resources with the least effort and minimum time. This research reveals that NDLI portal is used frequently by the students and they are enhancing their knowledge and learning in all parts of their life and assist society at large. Additionally, more initiatives should be taken to conduct awareness programs on such platform for their effective utilization. Such initiative will immensely help convert the non-users into active users and readers and help avail the benefit of such platform for its learners. We at GNMS had started the NDLI club in the year 2019, and since then we have conducted many events, activities to inculcate reading habits in our users. Activities such as selfie book review competition, business situation writing competition, project-based learning activities, celebration of reading day, and many more are conducted regularly. As of November 18, we have 519 registered users and around 104 activities have been conducted so far. This is the appreciation we have received from the NDLI. These are the references. I would like to conclude by saying that one club can answer all the students' queries 24/7, that is NDLI. The tagline which the NDLI has given, that is Padega Bharat, Badega Bharat. Thank you. No, I'm Neeta Malik. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ms. Malik. You have given a really good presentation. And actually, I just wanted to tell that after every presentation, you should give a good message. So I thank you to you that you have given a one good message, Padega Bharat. At least, 1 minute, madam. Yeah, so at least you have given a one message. So everyone should have after that, what should be take away home. So that one message should be there in the last. So thank you, madam. Yeah, please come, ma'am. There is a memento for you.
So for appreciation, there is a memento. Please, Chairman will hand over memento to you. Come forward.
Now next paper, Miss Joya Chadda is there. Yeah, a world that belongs to all of us, community-owned digital library. Very good, please come.
Thank you so much for having me here today. My premise for this presentation is that to be a librarian is to work to shift power. And how we do that, and the ways in which we try to do that as librarians, is something that I'll try to demonstrate in my presentation today. And hopefully by the end of my presentation, everyone will have some or the other questions in their minds. And if that is true, then I'll consider this presentation a success. In recent discourse around the need for equitable access to reading resources, digital libraries are increasingly suggested as a type of techno solution to address the lack of physical infrastructure. At the same time, we have in India a growing free library movement led by community library workers across the country. We're advocating for libraries to be free, to be publicly funded and locally governed, to be community spaces that actualize access to reading, writing, and critique by everyone, particularly those who have historically been denied the right to read. My presentation today locates community-owned digital library initiatives within the framework of this advocacy. I focus on the processes and the questions that have emerged since the Community Library Project, which is my organization, in Delhi NCR developed a digital library in 2020. And through examples of our practices, our content, I'll demonstrate how a community-owned digital library, what that looks like, and how they can be spaces where members engage in co-creation, curation, and critique. And they're more than repositories of objects that an end user gains access to. On the other hand, they can be instrumental in our work of challenging hierarchies of literacy and connectivity and working towards, as is the theme of this conference, sustainable and equitable futures. What do we think of when we think of the purpose of libraries? Libraries are concerned with rights, the right to education, the right to read, the right to participate in one's knowledge society and community. But our libraries are also more. They also foster the space for reading and writing critically, and about thinking about stories by everyone, particularly those whose stories have been historically denied and invisibilized within the structures of our society. This denial and this exclusion from spaces of education and spaces of reading have its roots in centuries of caste, class, and gender-based oppression. And as librarians and working in libraries, we must actively question and work against such structures and look to model a better world. Now, how does all this work when we speak of libraries becoming digital or digital libraries, right? And I'll start with an example. That when we ran online reading programs with members of the Community Library Project in Delhi NCR, I'll talk more about the organization in a bit. During the first lockdown, we ran online reading programs. And with our members, with our students who are aged between 8 and 15, we shared links to free websites, free resources. And our members questioned why they were only allowed access to these free websites and these free apps and these free resources only when they registered, right? They were asked to share their full names, their phone numbers, their email addresses, and members asked, who am I giving this information to? Why do they want this information? Who will use this information about me and how? Right? And keep in mind, these are members who are mostly 11 years old, 12 years old, 13-year-olds. And these are critical questions about the freedom and autonomy of individuals, about privacy, about data. And they're coming from members who are first-generation readers. Now, the response to this kind of problem, right, who will use my data, why do they need my data, is not so much that, oh, we need to teach them digital literacy, that, oh, we need to have more workshops, we need to make, we need to teach the users so that they learn the platform, but rather to ask that why do platforms make these choices concerning technology that are both biased and exclusionary? How can we refuse this system that makes visible the unequal power structures that underlie access, right? The pretense of it is access, but really something else is taking place. A system that we know is unethical and not in the interest of our membership. How can we refuse this? How can we build alternatives to these systems, right? Now, before suggesting digital libraries as a solution to the problems we have today, we have to ask that who has access to digital library platforms, who has the personal devices to access them, who has the digital literacy to enter them, and further, the people who create these platforms, how do they imagine the user? Who owns these platforms, right? Who owns them? And these are questions that are critical not only for people who are working in technology, in software development, or only to librarians or digital librarians, but actually they're critical to all of us, because they're central for us to ask the kind of world that we live in, and is this the kind of world that we wish to live in? I'll talk a little bit about the community library project right now. These are actually photographs. All three of these photographs are from a digital library. They're from the community library project's branch library. And you can see that there are laptops. There are also members reading aloud to each other. And TCLP has, for nearly a decade, we've run 3 free libraries with a robust curriculum that centers its membership in all its programs. You can see the older person who's kind of reading aloud to the younger members in the picture above. That's actually someone who joined the library when he was very, very young. And he's been with the library since then, and now he's employed by the library. And he reads aloud to other members every single day. So when we built our digital library, a digital arm of our library, we were certain to reject the replication of exclusionary structures that pervade public library infrastructures. So we refused mandated identity proof. We have no membership fees and fines. Our shelves are open. We refuse and reject the idea of outdated and hostile collections. So when we built a digital library for the first time, we were sure to not create any space for login access restrictions, for compromised digital security, for high data demands, inaccessible user design and interface. So we've been running our digital library since April 2020. It's called Duniya Sabki, hence the name of my presentation. The world belongs to all of us. And on your screen right now, you can see, I think, 2 different WhatsApp messages and a YouTube playlist. So 3 times a week, member families, anyone who's registered with any of the libraries that the Community Library Project runs, our members receive messages 3 times a week in multiple formats. This is a combination of low data use media, so videos, audios, links, text, photographs, and all of the media that you see in front of you is created and co-created by library members themselves, who are members of the community in which we work. These are communities in Delhi NCR where the majority of our membership is from Dalit, Bahujan and working class backgrounds, along with refugee and migrant families. Two minutes? Yeah. So members and librarians create and share read-alouds, book recommendations, music, news from across the world, community news about healthcare and free services, library program updates, member interviews, and narratives. Duniya Sabki, our digital library, is accessed on shared mobile devices of member families and also in and through the branch library spaces in Delhi NCR. So over here you can see this is a library branch, but you can actually see members are interacting with our digital library in the library branch. So you can see the ways in which the lines between the digital and the physical are not as rigid as we may think they are. So Duniya Sabki and the material we've made in this is a living archive of a library movement that looks ahead to speculate at a more just world. And we reject the universalized, top-down, and ultimately harmful approaches of a large number of interventions today that only function to sharpen the hierarchies of literacy and connectivity. Duniya Sabki advocates for libraries that are free and open to all, and it demonstrates how powerful digital library projects can be when they're situated within established free library spaces and communities. So these are some more pictures from our digital library and our physical library. So you might think, who chooses what goes on our digital library platforms? Our digital library exists across WhatsApp, across YouTube, across Telegram, and all of it is co-created and curated by members themselves, because we acknowledge that curation, the act of curation, which as librarians we are very familiar with, We acknowledges the ways in which institutional histories of disseminating knowledge and designing curriculum, they're really seeped in contexts and processes of power, right? Who gets to choose what's on your bookshelf? Who gets to choose what's the first book you see when you enter a library? So once we peel off, So digital libraries are not and do not aspire to be standalone solutions to the conditions of our society's denial of literacy, exclusion from education, inequality and oppression. Digital technologies alone will not do the work of repair that needs to be undertaken in our societies. And we must resist the suggestion that that is true, right? And instead, I think my suggestion really for all of us here is to think about libraries as a space where all of this coexists, right? Where digital technologies coexist with community ownership and with physical and printed books and resources. So it's imperative to consider public libraries, physical libraries, together with digital libraries. And in this way, we can think about the need for a national level policy to strengthen and affirm public libraries as free spaces of collective reading, learning, dialogue, and organizing. And you can see the poster in front of you, and this is really about why we need a free public library national policy. And a part of this is that we live in a country where people have not had access, not uniform access to reading, to books, to resources. And as librarians, the work we do is of shifting power, and this is connected to that, right? So our demand for a people's library policy today is very much central to our work as librarians, whether you work in a university, in a college, in a community, as I do, but it is really imperative for our work. And I think we can see some, yeah, this is just my conclusion, yeah. Yeah, so just the last thing is that one of the things we must think about is public libraries financed from public funds and not influenced by commercial, private or government pressures, not subject to censorship, and not meant to serve the ideals of any political party. And for this to take place, for this to become a reality, we need to come together and join hands with other organizations, with other people, other movements, right? And this is where I'll end my presentation today. That community-owned free libraries, which are at once digital and physical, virtual and real, they are models of repair and inclusion towards a better world, which is what we seek to build as librarians. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Chadda. You have given a very good insights that you want that there should be a public library policy or library policy. So the government of India is also working for the library policy since long time. We have also that. So I will request. Now, Dr. E. Nishabhati is there. Dr. E. Nishabhati is not there. Then Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha and Miss Chandita Burman. Chandita Burman, please come. Your topic is that awareness and use of resources available on National Digital Library in India, a study of postgraduate students of Assam University, Silchar. Please come. Sir,
Thank you, sir. I'm Chandita Burman from Assam University, Silchar, and this is our research topic, that is awareness and use of resources available on National Digital Library of India, a study of postgraduate students of Assam University, Silchar, by Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha, sir, and me, Chandita Burman. These are contents I have added here. Introduction. In light of India's changing digital world, The study looks at how the National Digital Library of India (NDLI) affects education. This research intends to enlighten educators and policymakers so they may utilize the advantage of digital resources and promote digital literacy within the academic community by understanding user involvement and restrictions. Research objectives. These are research objectives. Access awareness among Assam University postgraduate students about NDLI. Determine NDLI resource utilization for academic research needs. Identify factors influencing NDLI uses. Provide recommendations to enhance awareness and use. Scope of the study. Geographical, Assam University, Silchar, India. Demographic, diverse postgraduate students from various disciplines. Time, specific academic year, semester for data collection and analysis. Resource. These are literature review. Highlight the significance of digital library focusing on NDLI's role. Briefly mention key findings from literature review. Methodology. Describe the quantitative method using a survey questionnaire. Explain the data collection process, convenience, sampling and tools used, SPSS and MS Excel. Data analysis. Briefly discuss the survey results gathered from Assam University postgraduate students. Mention the total number of responses received, that is 167. Key survey findings. This is gender-wise distribution data I have found. Department-wise distribution, then semester. Then summing up, according to the analysis, postgraduate students, especially those in the Department of Library Science and Sociology, mostly use NDLI for academic purposes. They also report extending network problem and information overload. The most popular electronic materials were books and articles, which were mostly accessed through cell phones. Students generally lack if any animosity toward NDLI suggests that it is important for promoting learning and raising standards at Assam University, Silchar. Major observation. Highlight major observation. Majority of NDLI users are female, that is 65.3%. Community uses of electronic resources, 52.7%. Preferences in login method. Network issues, awareness gaps, etc. Recommendation, suggestion based on findings. Prioritize usage, education and training. Improve mobile usability and expand content variety. Address network issue for better user experience. Suggestion, give user training and education a priority. Enhance mobile usability and broaden your content selection. Take care of network problem to improve user expertise. Scope of further research works. Conduct user-centric research to pinpoint the user interface and navigation's specific problems so that improvement can be made with precision. analyze the type of resources that consumes, find lacking, and prioritize the acquisitions of those things using the content gap analysis method. User segmentation, investigate user segments to adjust the platform's features and offering to various users' tastes and needs. Conclusion, then this is my, yeah. Although the NDLI is a useful tool, network problem, accessibility and usability need to be addressed. More public awareness initiatives are required, particularly for those who use data-restricted remote locations. Pop-up advertising should be rethought, and the platform's mobile experience and use interface should be improved. Enhancement in this domain have the potential to enhance user contentment and draw in additional use via referrals. This is my questionnaire. References then. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all those who contributed to the successful completion of this research and preparation of this conference paper. My sincere appreciation goes to my supervisor, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha sir, for this invaluable guidance and insightful feedback throughout the research process. Our deepest thanks to the participants who volunteered their time and efforts to take part in our research, without whom this study would not have been possible. Thank you for all being an integral part of our journey in bringing this work for fruition. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, please wait, please wait. Thank you, Ms. Chandita Burman. You have presented a very good paper. Actually, whenever any data is there, I get afraid, because today morning, Professor PPP has given a lecture that any data ChatGPT will take up. After that, data analysis data, I am getting really afraid. I do not know when they will, ChatGPT will enter in the Assam University or different university and then data collect and then give the data. So I am really afraid of that. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
As a token of appreciation, I just hand over memento. Sir, next.
The next is Mr. Nikhil Debnath. Is there? Yeah, please. Mr. Nikhil Debnath, Mr. Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha, and Dr. Rajesh Kumar. Who is that? Please.
Respected Chairman of this session, Co-Chair, Reporter General, and my dear learned colleague, good evening to all of you. We are here to present a paper, a proposal for developing digital repositories to preserve traditional knowledge resources of Tripura. First of all, I would like to thank IIT Kharagpur team, and a special thanks to Sutradhar Da to giving us the opportunity to present this paper. We are here to present this paper, and we are going to discuss few PPTs, that is traditional and indigenous resources in Tripura, preservation of indigenous resources in Tripura, in initiative of digital preservation of indigenous knowledge resources in India, and proposal for developing digital repositories to preserve some tradition knowledge resources of Tripura. This paper, combined paper written by Nikhil Debnath, Professor Manoj Kumar Sinha, and myself. So now I hand over the mic to Nikhil to present the paper. Please.
Thanks, sir. Good evening, respected chairperson, and all who are present over here. Myself, Nikhil Debnath. I'm a research scholar from Assam University, Silchar, as well as I'm working as a library assistant in Central Library, Tripura University. So today I'm presenting my paper. It is a proposal for developing digital repositories to preserve traditional knowledge resources of Tripura. So, when we're talking about history of Tripura, it is long back when Mahabharata period is going on. So, it is one king. His name is Yayati. So, during his period, so the history is starting. Tripura's history is starting from his period only. So after that there was Manikya dynasty. So there was a king. There was the first king of Manikya dynasty. He is Maharaja Mahamanikya. So he was the first king of Tripura. So after that there was 35 king rule over there in Tripura. So, but in my study, on that time their culture is started. So it's about their tribal culture. There are many tribes are present over there. There are about more than 19 tribes are there. But due to immigration, on that time when there is our dividation time, means when we are dividing from Bangladesh and Pakistan. So on that time, Tripura is in Bangladesh only. So when it is merged to India, so it is a separate state state for Tripura, state named Tripura. So next step. Okay. Okay, so here, so this study is based on the preservation of our traditional knowledges of Tripura. So, what is traditional knowledge? If we say about traditional knowledge, it is refers to any knowledge that is knowledge of indigenous communities, either already in the documented form or remain undocumented. So, preservation, if we're talking about preservation, it is the task to ensuring long-term access to information and cultural materials of value. So there are generally two types of preservation method. It is preventive and curative. So what is preventive methods? It's a technique which can help the documents from fast rate decay and damage caused by the attack of various enemies. And when I'm talking about curative measures, it is the techniques which help the manuscript to protect against the physical and chemical hazards and from other natural calamities like flood, fire, earthquake, etc. So, traditional and indigenous knowledge resources of Tripura. So many people from different religions, caste and communities lives in Tripura, especially the tribal communities, those who have living here since the very early history of the state with rich traditional knowledge resources. Tripura has always been a very rich in the fields of art and crafts. The craft objects are sculptures, architectural buildings like palaces and temples, cultural objects like ornaments, textiles. So it's okay. These are some views of Tripura's traditional resources. So what are the objectives of this study? I have to find out the traditional knowledge resources of Tripura, to identify the initiatives taken for the preservation of indigenous knowledge resources of Tripura, to develop a proposal for digital preservation of those valuable traditional knowledge resources, to initiate digital repositories for future generation, then to suggest some ways and means for developing digital repositories. So, preservation of IK resources in Tripura, the tribal communities or the indigenous people of Tripura started demanding the protection of their tradition and heritage resources during long back. Due to large number of Bengali communities that migrated from Bangladesh at different times, their unique culture tradition must be clarified. There are various initiatives taken by the government of Tripura and tribal councils to overcome the problem faced by the local communities due to the rapid, okay. So these are some institutes, those who are taken some initiatives to document those resources. So this is the Bir Chandra State Central Library. Bir Chandra State Central Library is the top library of the public library system of Tripura. Yeah, it's okay. Okay. So in proposal, I want to say that although there are some initiatives taken by Tribal Research and Cultural Institute of Tripura to digitize traditional documents of tribal cultures, they do not have any suitable platform to preserve those digital documents. Therefore, a proposal is made for the institute that it would be a better if a relevant project were initiated to develop a digital library or a knowledge repository to preserve TK resources of tribal communities of Tripura. It has been seen that there are many manuscripts in individual archivers from different corners of the state of Tripura. Still, the manuscripts are in damaged position due to lack of maintenance. It should take some initiative to encourage the archivers to digitize the manuscripts in a standard digital repository. The Birchandra State Central Library has also taken some initiative to digitize the rare collections. It was a project undertaken by the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Still, the project is prolonged due to a need for more staff and financial constraints. Therefore, a proposal is to recruit more trained staff for the digitization of the document rapidly. Manuscript Conservation and Preservation Center of Tripura University is one more project, which was initiated by the Department of History, Tripura University, along with the National Manuscript Mission, to collect manuscript from the different parts of Tripura and to preserve those manuscripts using traditional methods of preservation, but due to lack of management, the center is in active position. So the proposal has been made for the Manuscript Center of Tripura University to resume the center again to develop a digital repository and digitize the available manuscripts in the center and collect more and more manuscripts from different parts of Tripura and start digitization of those manuscripts for commercialization and future generation. The Central Library Tripura University also develop a Okay, in suggestion and recommendation, I would like to say that this study is strongly recommends the concerned authority at state level, Tripura University level, and other agencies for its implementation for developing the institutional repositories of indigenous knowledge resources. The access of repositories may be integrated with NDLI digital library platform for universal access to the entire world. The authorities would like to request the funding agencies to award appropriate grants for detailed study. So in conclusion, I would like to say preservation is always a neglected area of library service. Therefore, it would be given due importance to preserve not only manuscript but also other crucial indigenous knowledge resources which are very rare. In most of the libraries, the materials are damaged to a great extent because of the negligence of library authority and staff. Again, we recommend that it should have a separate preservation laboratory and a digital repository in every library with minimum preservation facilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nikhil. They have given a presentation. But you know that sometimes it is a problem of the, if you tell about any state that they have not done or anything, because if you have given a proposal or anything, that has to be, before stating to anyone, you should be vetted by them. Because as a scholar, you cannot say that the authority has not done this, that these things in a platform. But if it goes that way, it's a university-wise, it's not like that. Because you have to, you have not supported with any data that the authority has, in the last 10 years, these things have done or not. Just you have given a proposal, they have these things. So those kind of things, when you do any research, you have to be very, very careful because you are talking about the authorities. If you are talking about the authorities, you have to justify. That's also, you are not, as a researcher, not to evaluate the authorities.
No.
You are not, we are supposed to tell the status of things. Authorities should do these things. I feel that, I do not know. It is my feeling that whenever I guide any students of research, I take care of that. You should not tell anything, think of anything authorities. Because whoever political parties on these things, not that. Only that we are supposed to be the researcher and the status of the research. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. I request Dr. Rajesh Kumarji also to come here. And as a token of appreciation, I wanted to, I request sir to hand over memento to Dr. Rajesh Kumar and Mr. Nikhil Debnath. Yes, please. Please. Thank you, sir.
Okay, now Dr. Sunita Parekh is there? Huh? You want to present? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Huh?
Please quickly present the paper, only gist. Okay, so I just talked to her. Only about the paper and just conclusion.
Good evening. I'm just presenting this paper on behalf of Smita Parekh, Chief Librarian. Her topic is Bridging the Education Gap, the NDLI's Contribution. Okay, her topic is Bridging the Education Gap, the NDLI's Contribution. These are her contents and the flow of presentation. Alright. This is not working. This is not working. Go to the next slide now. Okay, introduction. We all know about the NDLI, so I'm not going to into it. So next one. The resources available in NDLI. Yes. Next. The repository content is organized into many formats. The table below shows the number of resources types available in the NDLI library, which can be accessed anywhere at any time. These contents are available in NDLI IS 100M as of October 9, 2023. Next. This is how to utilize the NDLI resources and the NDLI club format. Purnima University NDLI club conducts activities every year, and 1,102 members have registered in the club. In conclusion, the NDL Digital Library has emerged as a beacon of knowledge, effectively closing the educational gap that often hinders access to quality resources. The establishment of NDLI clubs within the institutes like Purnima University exemplifies a proactive approach to maximizing the benefits of the digital repository. Through these clubs, students and faculty alike gain unfettered access to a vast array of digital resources, fostering an environment of continuous learning and research. Purnima University's enthusiastic participation and registration of over 1,000 members in the club underscores its commitment to providing a world-class education experience. The ripple effect of this collaboration extends beyond the confines of the institutes, enriching the larger academic community. As we forge ahead, it is imperative for more education institutes to recognize and embrace the transformative potential of the NDLI and its affiliated clubs, thereby contributing to a more inclusive, dynamic and robust educational landscape for the nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Just wait, ma'am.
Just wait a minute. Memento.
On behalf of Dr. Sunita Parekh, I hand over memento to Ms. Nita D. Malik.
Now next speaker is presenter is Mr. F. Lamin Gang and Dr. R. Ravi Kumar. Is that who you are Lamin? Okay. You are Lamin Gang, no?
Yes, I am Lamin Gang.
Hey, 6 minutes, just to keep the pin point.
Okay.
Like bullet.
So we've been given a very stipulated amount of time. I am F. Lamin Gang. I come from Northeastern Hill University, and my topic for today is Digital Library as a Bridge for Equitable Access to Quantum of Knowledge. My co-author is Dr. S. Ravi Kumar, who is an associate professor at NEHU. He's absent today. So India is now the second largest education system in the world, right after the United States of America, surpassing China. And as per Article 21A of Constitution, which says that the right of education, that all kids between age 6 to 4 will have free education. So, but governments all over the world have implemented some kind of a policy to ensure inclusivity, like policies such as grants, scholarships, affirmative action, but still certain kind of exclusion and educational marginalization exist. So educational marginalization is nothing but an unequal, favored, or biased allocation of access to education, opportunities, facilities, and resources based on region, gender, socio-economic background, or personal circumstances. So marginalization can be explained by two-point conceptual framework by authors such as Paul, Taylor, and Lewin and Little, such as access to learning and zones of exclusion. These include child labor, marginalized groups such as Dalits, untouchables, lack of access to technology, the digital divide, and students who complete school education but learn little due to barriers to learning. Gross enrollment in higher education. So India reached 27.1% in 2019 to 20. This is as per AISHE report. And out of this enrollment, almost 14.2% are STs, 5.8% are STs, 14.2% are SCs, and OBCs 35.8%, as well as 44.2% from other communities. So in India, there are various kind of competitive examinations like IIT, JEE, NEET, GATE. As an aspirant myself, I have appeared for these exams. Unfortunately, I couldn't clear. So these exams generate a lot of interest amongst the youth in India. I hear this a lot from my friends. I hear these kind of aspiration a lot from my peers, that they want to crack UPSC, they want to crack IIT, JEE, as well as NEET. So digital divide, digital literacy, and access to access and equity. So digital divide still persists, largely because some of us has access to better technologies, whereas some groups don't have access to better technologies. So the objective of this study is to actually do a comparative analysis of few central university libraries through their collection and to compare them with the NDLI portal. So my methodology is to compare the digital libraries. These are the findings. I found that no university library holds any kind of a content with regards to competitive exam preparation with regards to IIT, JEE, CBSE, NEET, GATE, JAM, UGC NET, or any other career development recruitment. So my concluding remarks is that these platforms can be the bridge between access to quality educational materials, as inequality continues to exist in our society, this technology can act as a bridge. As I have been privileged to be a part of some few awareness programs. One of the NDLI program officer from of the northeastern region, Ms. Pulasmitanath, I have been part of some few programs with her, so where we organize awareness programs with regards to usage of NDLI as well as its various technologies. So NDLI can go deeper towards spreading more awareness towards especially rural areas or areas where there are more marginalized communities. This way only we can bridge the digital divide. Thank you.
Good paper. Digital divide is always there, and main thing is that these are the resources what you showed. These are the library may not be needed to store these information, because how much library can store, because it is already available online, because the entire these resources, the digitized resources of the question papers and all, these are all available in NDLI, and there is a link. So in the link library you have to get it. So you can get those resources, because every library they cannot store and these things, because every year it is changing, so everything is on. Yes, thank you very much for your presentation.
I request to
Yeah.
Professor Chakraborty, please hand over this moment.
Now I think Mr. Gopal Pandey and Miss Priya Tiwari is there. Digital libraries making education accessible for all by
Honorable Chairperson and other dignitaries on the dais and the participants. I am Gopal Pandey from Nehru Gram Bharati University. I am here to present my paper titled as Digital Libraries Making Education Accessible for All, co-authored by Priya Tiwari, librarian, MPS Public School. Digital library seeks to promote an inclusive, participative and holistic approach. Digital libraries are a novel approach for ensuring accessible and equitable access to education. Digital libraries are aligned with the 5 principles of Ranganathan as well as new education policy of 2020. Digital libraries are also learner-centric. In the present time, knowledge and easy access to information and technologies are 2 most important requirements of civilization in the 21st century. Digital libraries is an inclusive way. It is making education beyond the 4 walls so that every people can access it. Education is the only solution for all the problems of mankind, and digital libraries are the novel approach and the miracle tool to achieve it. As we will move forward, we will see that the research objectives are: this paper tries to highlight the role of digital libraries in spreading education, as well as it also tries to highlight the role of Ranganathan's 5 laws with a special emphasis on digital libraries, as well as this paper also talks about the various digital libraries initiatives taken. Now, this paper has followed the research methodology that is exploratory research, which is both investigative as well as analytical method. Now, if you talk about the digital library, as we already know that Ranganathan has talked about the 3 trinity of library. That library cannot be possible without the book, reader and staff. But digital library has made possible that library can exist without the actual presence of books as well as librarian or the staff. Now, as we all know that digital library has altered the traditional view of the library. If you talk about the history of education in India, so in ancient time we had the Shishya and Guru Shishya Parampara, while Britishers have introduced the modern English method. After independence, Government of India has made RTE Act as well as new education policy in 2020 for making education accessible for all. Still, if you talk about the data, The data is taken from the 2011 census. The literacy rate of India is 24.04%, while the global literacy rate is 86.3% according to the UNESCO. Thus, we can see that digital library is now only solution that can make education accessible for all and can help in achieving the dream of India, taking literacy rate close to 100%. Now, if you talk about the 5 laws of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, it is also applicable on the internet. Yes. If you talk about the India, as we already know that India has the world's largest higher education system, almost educating nearly 80 million students. We can already know that a physical library cannot be accessible by the all people throughout the India. So digital library can make education accessible by remote access. Now, as we already that digital library has taken knowledge and education beyond the 4 walls. There are the various digital libraries initiatives in India such as Sodh Ganga of Inflip, Net Center, Khudabaks Oriental Public Library. Now, if you talk about the challenges, it has various challenges like there is no any defined standard for the materials and instructions, design and the quality of interaction on the internet. Information suppliers are also seeking profit through the digital libraries, as well as there is no proper ordering or updation of the material available on the digital library. Plus, public library or we talk about digital library, it is a public platform. So maintaining a proper environment over the digital library is also a challenge. In conclusion, digital library is providing the people with the reliable information, knowledge and the services. Digital library can also play an important role in making education available in remote areas. At last, there is a Mahakumbh in Prayagraj in 2025. You are all welcome here for a once in a lifetime experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dr. Bhandari, please hand over the.
Are you sponsoring accommodation?
Hey, no. क्या बोले थे? There is the accommodation is free.
Under this sky.
वो तो कहाँ पे नहीं बोला नहीं ना. नहीं, please, give it. Dr. Bhandari. So next paper, Mr. Shagata Rana, he will present tomorrow. And now Dr. Jyoti Bhaval and Dr. Nilam Rajan Chavan is there. Dr. Jyoti is there? Or Dr. Nilam? Or there are other auditorium. So ask them that can you ask them that to come here? And then next presentation, Mousiki Singh Roy. Is there Mousiki Singh Roy or Anupam Shana? Huh? Is there? Yeah, please. Understanding Digital Thesaurus of India, Metadata Acquisition in National Digital Library of India. Yeah, please come.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Respected present here and lovable all. I used to work in NDLI, National Digital Library of India, and I work as a programmer there. So, how will convey my parts or our work for the NDLI? I thought I was thinking in a picture. So I got a picture. First I thought different. Then I got a picture of NDLI as it is a knowledge repository. So let's take it as a NDLI is a light. So can I compare myself or our work as a lamp? For that, for that, our for that, our work lies in the metadata, creating metadata repository. As you all know, I think, in NDLI, National Digital Library, we have more than 10 crores libraries items there, educational items. So through our work, we are at the feet of that work. We have created more than maybe 5 crores or more than 5 crores data. So to create a metadata repository, it's very technical. It's all programming and system management and lots of stuffs are there. And NDLI also itself a lot more than that. So where I will fit myself? If NDLI is the light, a knowledge repository, then through our work, we collected metadata and pass it to the curation team. And so I just jokingly told them that you take the burning part of that NDLI. So we are the person who takes mud in their hand to create a lamp for NDLI. It's one kind of, only one lamp. There is lots of lamps there in NDLI. So they have their own kinds of lamps, and our lamp is a team we call that metadata acquisition through web crawling. So web crawling is a very technical and it's a very programmatic stuff. So I have to say that because we are working on that. So if we do the web crawling, what do? We take a source. That source comes from various departments from NDLI, and they analyze the source. They took permission of the source. So we call it focused crawling sometimes, and we have an ethical web crawler also, because we have to take the permission. We have to take fulfill their guidelines. Otherwise, we cannot publish the content in NDLI. So those decisions are taken by many teams are there. And focused crawling, why we call focused crawling? Because when I take a source, or our team member take a source, they took a analysis sheet from curation team or maybe from other team. Which team will tell which kind of information NDLI need from this source. So after getting, so we now start the focused crawling. So to start the focused crawling, we have to create a base for the lamp, what we are trying to be. So that base is the downloader. That content we will download from internet. So that downloader is a program, obviously, when we use different softwares like GNU wget, PHP call. We are working on PHP. People from our team are very proficient in PHP and other stuffs. So here technicality is we have to maintain a URL which we are crawling, and that URL will download, and from that content of that URL we create metadata. That's our motto. And we will pass it to that burning side of our NDLI. That will create the National Digital Library. So we will create a database for that. That database curation team will use curate the metadata. First we will create the metadata, And there is many team who will create the first metadata from internet source. So we download the content from internet and we parse that. Parse means get the data from that documents and create a metadata repository. So those are all technical term, web crawling, downloader, parser, URL queue. URL queue means we are maintaining okay. Then we have a specific crawler, like some are HTML crawler, and source specific crawler, because all HTML sources are not the same styled and they have different arrangement. So we have a specific HTML scholar, and sitemap XML scholar is very standardized process. We all follow here. And then OAMTH, this is a standardized protocol we use for crawling to create the metadata. For downloading the metadata and then parse and create the metadata, same process. For OMTH, from Google YouTube API we use to get the metadata from YouTube content, for YouTube content. And URL queue, how we maintain all the URLs, that is by suitable file folder structure and other stuffs also. Metadata extraction. After getting the data from internet, we parse the data, and based on the requirement of our other teams like curation teams, we will create the metadata. And then metadata have to save somewhere. That's our database. It's a PostgreSQL database. We extracted from lot of HTML, XML, JSON, MARC, CSV, all are separate crawler, you can say, a web crawler, separate web crawler. And to populate the database, we have created a system. This is the system. NDLI document is there, NDLI asset is there, NDLI data source. Data source have asset also. Those are the systems. So we will populate that system to create a metadata acquisition system in NDLI. And you can see there is lots of content in NDLI. NPTEL has more than 2 lakhs content. British Council, World eBook Library, all are first created by this system, data acquisition system in NDLI. Then curation goes and then create the whole repository, and then light NDLI. So these are some of the sources and their respective data counts. These are the statistics from our systems, from our acquisition systems, which helps curation team to look into it and create further decisions to create that, obviously, that metadata repository. These are the metadata we create. Then curation team takes it, and so we have a further research plan, like when we will incremental crawling is there, like we have a source for this date, and after some time it's get updated. So we have to do some kind of arrangement so that our system gets the report of that newly updated content, and similarly update our database also, data repository. So, and for curation team, if we create a system where lots of data are partitioned in the different way, we have indexing part also. Creating database means indexing part. So if you partition the data suitably, then curation team will be in lot of help. But that is the future work. We are trying to help them as much as we can. These are our references, some of the references, and if you have any questions, thank you.
Thank you, very good job done by NDLI team. One thing I tell you, why all of you get tea and biscuit, because we are ending the session on time, and our dinner is also ensured. So because we could say end the session on time. but we have more participants because they are not able to end the session, so one participant has been sent to this session. So Sangyukta Shau and Mrs. Bulti Tiwari is here. Yeah, please.
Just before that, it's a pleasure to hand over a memento to the authors. Please.
Bulti Tiwari. Good evening, everyone. Myself, Bulti Tiwari. Me and my guide are working at Devrathana College. Devra is a small township under West Midnapur, West Midnapur, East Midnapur, Bankura, Purulia, all districts are called Jungle Mahal. Jungle Mahal are inhabitant of Santal community. Santal community and our research topic is design of digital library for Santal community. This is not working. Outline of this topic is digital library, Santal community, digital library framework for Santal community, advantage and prospects of this library, scope for further study and conclusion. Okay. Digital library, as we all know, digital libraries serve as repositories for a wide range of digital contents. Digital libraries provide users with unprecedented accessibility, and it is very much convenient because it overcomes physical limitations and geographically distance from traditional libraries. All are digital libraries play a critical role in preserving and archiving cultural heritage. These are the components of digital library, and this includes collection infrastructure, access infrastructure, computer and network infrastructure, digital resource organization, and manpower training. This also includes some push technology and pull technology. Necessity of digital library for Santal community. Digital libraries can be incredibly valuable for communities because Santal community, as we all know, rich in culture. They have cultural heritage, unique customs, literatures, historically rich documents, but they are somehow economically backward. So it is of supreme importance to preserve their rich cultural heritage, which includes music, dance, folklore, art, and unique language. The digital library can provide access to ample range of resources. Corner, these are the art and sculpture of Santal community. These are the wall painting that they have inherit. The Santal community can be able to document, preserve, and disseminate their customs and knowledge for future generation, research, and the global community by utilizing the power of digital library. This is the methodology of digital library for the Santal community. The digital library will be developed on the basis of digital library software like DSpace. There will be a community in DSpace under which several sub-communities are there. And in these sub-communities, digitized Santali documents will be deposited as books on Santal society, basic books for learning Olchiki, novel and short stories, songs, poetries, and religious sermons of Santal communities. As we see that the rare books, the Santals as written by Charulal Mukherjee. The main framework, this is the key component of Santali digital library, includes a collection infrastructure, which includes metadata and digital objects, which builds collection infrastructure. This is the access infrastructure, which includes web OPAC, subject-wise gateways, various search techniques, as simple search and advanced search. Repositories and harvesting of digital libraries denote the storage and organization of digital items. the techniques of collecting digital assets from various sources. Computer and network infrastructure includes digital content storage, database system, content management system. Network infrastructure includes LAN and WAN for local remote access. Advantage and prospects. Preservation of cultural heritage. Digital library can serve as a repository for preserving and showcasing the cultural heritage of Santal community. Educational resource which includes learning materials, historical documents and lecture can be accessed through digital library. Community empowerment. Community empowerment. Digital libraries can empower the Santal community by providing them with a platform and by using this platform they can share their own stories, own narratives, their own historical documents, research and documentation. Researchers and scholars who are interested in on Santal community, they can use digital library for accessing their research materials. These are the implementation technique. By using DSpace, we can repository the Santal literature and documents. Scope for further study. If we frame digital library for Santal community, it can be extended for different indigenous language, can be examined the linguistic diversity within the Santal community, can analyze the digital literacy levels within the Santal community, can investigate the technological infrastructure available in Santal community. In conclusion, we can say that digital library for the Santal community is a valuable initiative. It is not only help the safeguarding their cultural identity, but also facilitate their cultural exchange and dialogue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bulti Tiwari. It's a good presentation. One thing you know, I do not know whether you are aware or not, there is a national virtual library. Okay, national virtual library where they are taking the NDLI, National Virtual Library of National Mission on Libraries under Ministry of Culture. They have taken a massive project by IIT Mumbai. They are collecting all the cultural heritage of the entire country on different communities and all. So all these data can be available and their structures, their designing and everything is a completely different metadata they have created. So if you can, that's the, because if you can want to collaborate with them, they will help you out to do this kind of things. So you can suggest, it is easy, if it is your paper and if you want to communicate to your society or whoever want to do, then you can communicate them that there is a National Virtual Library under the National Mission on Libraries, under the Ministry of Culture. They are doing this project, and that project has been given to IIT Mumbai.
Thank you, sir. Very much informative.
Yeah, thank you.
So I request Sangjukta Sahu and Ms. Bulti Tiwari, please come onto the dais. As a token of appreciation for their paper, just I request Arun Babu to hand over memento to them. Thank you. Sir, Bosh. So, on behalf of organizing committee, it's our pleasure to have Professor Arun Kumar Chakraborty and as a chair, and also Dr. N.S. Bhandari as co-chair. So we are really grateful to both of you for sparing time and conducting the session successfully. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Bhandari. And this is one announcement.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. That's from morning, last few months. This entire IIT NDLI team is working very hard and to make our life comfortable and things. And you really, we are gaining. So really, big applause to all the people.
Thank you, sir. So just an announcement that bus will be at, is already there. So you may go to your guest house and you will have a half an hour time, half an hour 45 times to get fresh. and return bus will be available